Once they use the EponaShoe, they'll see the results. It works every time.
They won't know it until they see it.
It is the most comfortable thing on any of the horses.
After they saw my horse turn around, they all believed in it.
I was at the point where I was looking for another horse. Epona let me rodeo again. I owe quite a bit to it.
When I apply them, I stand back and just grin because I know that they're getting the best care possible.
You know, it's like asking a runner to run marathons in their bare feet or to run in a pair of nice cushy Nikes.
The key to it is that I win with them. I mean, that's really the key. And the key is that it keeps them sound.
We have a total of 20 sizes of EponaShoe. So we go from little tiny horses like this one way up to very large warm bloods.
For the same size, we have two different shapes. A wide shape, that's a little wider, and a narrow shape.
It's got 3 different types of polyurethane, and it's got some small metal stiffeners inside the shoe.
I wanted something that was allowed to flex, you know, like the hoof, but bounce back. And I wanted something you can shape, you know, easily. It's basically, it's a hoof extension. It gives the protection you need. It gives this arch support, and it behaves like the hoof.
So the idea is that by having a composite shoe that has some flex but has a rigid spine, it's solid enough to give them the support that they need, but it has a little bit of flex to it so that it helps absorb the force from the ground, but then it also helps with the blood flow and distribution through the foot.
When I did start using the EponaShoe, and just 6 weeks after the first use, I've seen a significant amount of hoof growth and health.
Overall comfort's what I've gotten out of the horses and what I've seen.
This shoe is flexible enough in its application and what I can do with it that I can have one product that I can actually use on a ton of different situations.
I use them for everything. I use them for rehab horses. I use them for performance horses, especially dressage horses. I think I have 20 to 30 horses under EponaShoes.
You know, in a lot of rehab instances, you can use the glue and the packing to provide the support that you need.
It was not that hard to grasp this idea of setting the shoe back, keeping the flares in, and going with that bony structure.
I used to shy away from scary founder situations or long-term lameness horses. Now with the Epona, I don't worry about that anymore because I have automatic sole protection and foot stabilization right there in the shoe. So if there's any question in my mind, that's where we start.
When I put a new set of EponaShoes on, I can feel the difference in my horse. They have a springier step, they have more confidence.
If you have ridden a horse that is out of balance and then you get on a horse that has the EponaShoe that is balanced, it's just like night and day.
Your horse has a chance of extending the performance and lasting longer. And that's all I want to do, is make sure they're as comfortable as they can and do everything I can to make them healthy.
We had a horse that had hock problems. He'd had hock problems for years, and we tried the Eponas on him, and he came right around, so we had 3 other horses we ended up putting them on also.
My horse suffered from pedal osteitis, and he was very difficult to shoe. Nothing worked, and I met Monique with the EponaShoe. She started shoeing my horse, and he became sound.
When I went to EponaShoes, it basically brought me back into the sport. I went from not being able to even practice on my mare. I had to lay her off for a year because we had soundness issues. Now I'm able to practice all I want and perform at anywhere I feel like I need to be.
Because it's a different tool, people have to learn to work with it. The hoof does not behave the same with a plastic shoe than it does with a metal shoe.
EponaShoe is a product-based company, and we're selling the products to farriers worldwide. But in addition to that, we now, in Paso Robles, California, have the Epona Institute. The Epona Institute is an organization that puts on our clinics and other learning experiences for farriers and horse owners.
This is a whole system, you know, from keeping track of the hoof to trimming correctly to applying the shoe correctly.
Every year, usually I come up here and then John and Monique, they take x-rays of my horse. They've taken a high-speed video of my horse. So I have this long-term case study. It goes over years, and I've seen the horn is getting harder. The angle of his foot has changed, and he's 13 years old now, so it's been quite a few shoeing cycles that I've used the EponaShoes.
The cost is one of the biggest things that people are worried about that I'm finding. But if you take my normal rate with an aluminum egg bar shoe, with a pad and dental impression material, you're looking at a lot more money.
The cost of training and the time you put into these animals is even more than a race car. So I can't imagine weighing the cost of the shoes versus throwing my horse away and starting all over again.
It's a lot cheaper than a vet bill, and I don't think Epona's, for what it does for a horse, I don't think the cost is nearly even high enough.
It's a great tool to have to help with horses that nothing else seems to work for.
It's absolutely giving me more confidence.
Overall, my horse is more comfortable and seems more relaxed.
You gotta try it.
It's really amazing how much foot they grow in a small amount of time.
It's definitely something you can use in healthy horses and in therapeutic conditions.
So I highly recommend it as a performance shoe.
For my personal horse, 8 weeks after being dead lame, she's back riding on the trail and doing her rein cow horse work. It's just a miracle.
You know, my goal is to make sure that people that use it do it right so they don't hurt horses, you know. It's not just the product, we want to help the horse.